You so much. I gotta say hi to my mom because she watches you every morning.
Oh.
To Jane Pitt.
Hi, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Brad Pitt just lost the most important woman in his life. But what should have been a quiet family farewell turned into something much deeper. Tributes poured in, tears were shed. But then, the internet remembered. This wasn't the first time Jane Pitt made headlines. Behind the glowing stories of a loving mother and devoted grandmother lies a side of Brad Pitt's family that fans rarely talk about. One filled with unexpected controversy, unspoken tension, and a divide that never fully healed. And now, with Jane gone, one question lingers. Was their bond strong enough to overcome it all? Brad Pitt didn't grow up in Hollywood. He grew up in Springfield, Missouri, in a quiet house with 2 siblings and a mom who kept everything together. Jane Etta Pitt wasn't famous, but she was the backbone, a school counselor, calm, strong, and always present. Brad has called her his biggest supporter. She didn't chase attention, she just showed up when it mattered, like at the Oscars in 2012, or the Unbroken premiere in 2014. No big entrance, no press quotes, just a mom standing by her son. Even in recent interviews, Brad would pause to shout her out. During a screening of F1, he looked straight at the camera. "My mom watches you every morning," he said. Then he smiled, waved, and added, "I love you, Mom." That's who Jane was. Quiet, steady, proud. She never needed the spotlight, because she already meant the world to the people who mattered most. But when she passed, it wasn't just the love that made headlines, it was something else entirely. Brad stayed silent, but his niece, Sydney Pitt, spoke up. In a post that quickly spread online, she shared what the family was feeling. Raw, honest, and painful. "My sweet Grammy," she wrote, "we weren't ready for you to go." Sydney called Jane love in its purest form. Someone who danced, painted, sang, and somehow kept up with 14 grandkids. No drama, no judgment, just love. She talked about silly games, small joys, and lessons in kindness. Jane wasn't just a grandmother. She was the kind of woman who left a mark on everyone she met. "She's still here," Sydney wrote, "in every brushstroke, every kind gesture, every hummingbird." It hit hard, not just because Jane had passed, but because it reminded people of something rare, a genuinely good soul, gone too soon. But not everyone remembered Jane the same way, and some didn't forget what happened years earlier. Jane Pitt never chased the spotlight. She stayed in Missouri. She raised 3 kids. She worked as a school counselor. Her life wasn't flashy, but it mattered. She believed in fairness, kindness, and doing the right thing, even when no one was watching. That's what her family remembers most. Jane lived her faith quietly, but firmly. She taught her grandkids to love God, help others, and find joy in the little things. Brad may have grown into a global star, but his roots stayed grounded, largely because of her. She showed up to support him, but she never tried to be part of the fame. That wasn't her world. For years, most people knew her as Brad Pitt's mom, but to her family, she was the foundation. And without her, that foundation suddenly felt cracked. Still, there was a side of Jane the public rarely saw, until she put it in writing. In 2012, Jane Pitt did something no one expected. She wrote a letter, a short one, but it lit up the internet. It was published in a Missouri newspaper, and it didn't take long before it went national. In it, Jane praised Mitt Romney. She urged Christians to vote against Barack Obama, and she spoke out strongly against abortion and same-sex marriage. Her words were blunt, conservative, firm, and completely opposite of her son's public views. Brad had just said he wouldn't get married until everyone could, including gay couples. He was one of the most vocal celebrities supporting marriage equality. So when his mother's letter dropped, the backlash hit fast. Headlines framed it as a family divide. Social media exploded. People asked, was Brad okay with this? Would he speak out? He didn't. Not then. But his silence only made the tension louder, and fans were left wondering where the family really stood. Brad Pitt never clapped back. No interviews, no tweets, no dramatic family fallout, at least not publicly. Instead, he stayed quiet, but his actions said plenty. Around the same time as the letter, Brad doubled down on his support for gay marriage. He donated money, spoke at events. He didn't name names, but the message was clear. He loved his mom, but he wasn't going to hide his beliefs. To some fans, it was confusing. How could someone raised by a woman with such strong conservative views become one of Hollywood's most outspoken progressives? Others saw something deeper: respect. Brad didn't try to silence his mother, and she didn't try to silence him. They didn't agree, but they didn't destroy each other over it either. And in a world where outrage comes easy, that kind of quiet loyalty says a lot. Most families don't make headlines when they disagree, but Brad Pitt's family isn't most families. He's a Hollywood A-lister. His mother was a deeply religious Midwestern conservative, and in between, there was a quiet tension, one that rarely surfaced but never fully disappeared. Friends say they didn't argue about politics, they just lived around it. Brad once said he had deep respect for his parents, even when they didn't see eye to eye, and Jane, despite her strong beliefs, never dragged her son publicly. They stayed a family, red state parents, blue state kids, same dinner table, same blood, same love. And when Jane passed, that's what the family chose to focus on. Not the differences, not the headlines, just her. But now that she's gone, the weight of her legacy feels heavier than ever. Jane Etta Pitt died at 84. There was no press conference, no dramatic farewell, just a quiet family grieving the woman who held them together. Brad didn't release a statement. He didn't need to. His silence spoke volumes, the kind that only deep loss can explain. His niece Sydney captured it best. In one line, she wrote, "She was love in its purest form." It's hard to argue with that. Jane left behind a legacy bigger than politics or headlines. She raised a family, she gave them roots, and she showed the world that even when people don't agree, they can still love hard and hold on. Brad may have lived a life far from Springfield, but his heart always stayed close to home. And now, with his mother gone, that connection feels more fragile and more important than ever. Families are rarely simple. Even when love runs deep, differences can still leave scars. Jane Pitt wasn't perfect, neither is Brad. But what they shared, loyalty, respect, and quiet love, is something worth remembering. In the end, she wasn't just Brad Pitt's mother. She was a wife, a grandmother, a teacher, and a force of calm in a world that rarely slows down. And now, she's gone. But her influence, it's still here, in every story, every tribute, and every choice her children make moving forward. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, leave a comment below. And if you want more untold stories from the lives of icons like Brad Pitt, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.